What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Daily, December 1st, 2022. We've got some Thursday night football. We've got some World Cup. We've got a couple big college basketball games as well. Kick it off here with you, Aaron. What are you looking forward to the most today? We got a full slate here. Anything jump out to you?
Hurricanes and the Blues. Of course, that's what I'm looking forward to the most. It's a big game. The Blues are at home. It should be a really good game. The hockey slate, definitely what I'm looking forward to the most.
Kind of bummed that one's not here in Raleigh. I'd love to be going to that one. Papa Dude, what about you? What are you most excited about today?
Well, I'm not looking forward to that, but I've got my Missouri Southern hoodie on. They're in action tonight in Joplin. The number 5 ranked girls team going up against Northwest Missouri State. That's where I'll be tonight. And Aaron, I haven't really checked yet. Are the Northwest Missouri boys as good as usual? Have you kept up with it?
If you haven't followed Division II basketball, Northwest Missouri State wins the national championship in basketball almost every year. I would imagine. I have no idea, but I would imagine they're very good. Yes.
Yeah. So they'll play also. So I'm getting a doubleheader tonight, free at Missouri Southern.
What's the line on the women's game there, Papa Dude?
I don't think they do lines, do they, on Division II basketball?
Division II women's basketball? No lines? That's a bummer. All right. Let's jump into it. Let's start out with the NHL slate. As Aaron mentioned, we got a couple good games on here. I don't really want to talk about Hurricanes Blues because I think the Hurricanes would kick the Blues' butt. So we'll skip past that one. We do have the Oilers heading into the Minnesota Wild tonight at 8 o'clock on ESPN+. Oilers are plus 135 tonight after winning late last night against Chicago. Aaron, you were on the Oilers last night. They got it done for you. Do you like them plus 135 here against Minnesota, a team that's kind of struggled a little bit to start the year?
No, I don't. I really don't. I don't think Edmonton's going to win tonight. I watched all of that game last night. It was a struggle. They did hit 5 posts in the game, so it could have been a lot worse than what it was. But they just have so many holes defensively, and Chicago just kept coming back at them. Now coming back the next night, now playing a better team for sure in Minnesota, a more talented team. A Minnesota team that needs a win, got a win in their last game against Arizona. Much bigger challenge tonight, but I think Minnesota starts off December with a win. I do not like Edmonton tonight in Minnesota playing at back-to-back.
I'll take the over 6.5 there. I think you're going to see some more goals in that game,
Safe.
especially the back-to-back game. Papa Dude,
Yes.
Let's talk about some upstart squids here. The Seattle Kraken 14-5-3 on the young season. We've got the Washington Capitals, who struggled out of the gate and played about 500 hockey here, headed into Seattle. Seattle is short favorite, just minus 125 in this spot. You releasing the Kraken, or are you going with the Capitals?
Every time I think the Kraken are going to lose, they win. And I don't think it's tonight. I keep waiting. A lot of averages says you're going to get beat in hockey. They've won a lot, 8 or 9 in a row now, I think.
Yeah.
Against everybody. I mean, there's no such thing as easy games in hockey, and they keep winning. I don't think Washington's that good. I want to pick against them tonight. I do, but I got to go with the Kraken. They're starting to make believers out of me. My gosh, they're playing great. They're a fun team to watch.
11 out of their last 13, including a win streak of 5 and 6 during that stretch. I like the minus 125 tonight as well. Aaron, you on the Kraken too?
I'm on the Kraken. Yes, I am. It's hard not to be right now. And I tell you, they're scoring goals, and that's the thing that really surprises me. I thought, hey, if the Kraken are going to win this year, you have to play a lockdown defensive style of game, try to win games 2-1 and 3-2. That's funny. They're scoring goals like crazy. They scored 8 4 nights ago, 5 2 nights ago, 9 last time they played against the Kings. A lot of these games are on the road, and they're scoring. So I've seen this Capitals team up close in person. Defensively, they are not a great hockey team. I think it'll be another one. If you go over,
Yes.
I don't think you're going to be wrong with this one, but I like Seattle to win.
I think it's 6, isn't it? The over-under?
I would go over.
6, not a 6.5.
Okay,
Yeah.
6.5.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump over to the college hardwood here. One marquee game tonight. Number 7, Creighton. Kind of surprised Creighton sitting at number 7. Heading into number 2, Texas. 5-0 undefeated. Texas laying 6.5 at home. Total sitting at 140. Papa Dude, you going to take your favorite school in Texas here?
I don't want to. They are at home. They're pretty good. And that's a tough test to go in there for Creighton. I like what the line now is 6.5. Is that right?
Right now, 6.5, 140.5.
Yeah, that's 6.5. I think it might be closer than that. If I was going to bet anything, I'd take Creighton plus the points. I really like Texas's coach. he's a great coach. And if he can get them to play, I think this is his second year there, I believe, his second or third. They're beginning to buy in and play his style because Texas in the past has not won these games. They haven't been tough enough. This guy's a tough, hard-nosed coach. I like him to win. The line, it's touchy, but I would go with the Longhorns tonight.
Yeah, he took care of business at home against Gonzaga, Aaron, blew them out by almost 20 points. I would expect you're going to see a similar performance tonight. I like them quite a bit here against Creighton. Are you with Texas here, or are you going with Creighton?
Texas has the best college basketball coach in the country, period. I really believe that. I think Beard is the best coach in the country. I thought what he did at Texas Tech was amazing. They should have won the national championship. They blew a game. Listen, this is Texas Tech that he had at that level. Now he's at Texas where he's got access to a lot more weapons. I think they're going to win. I think Texas is going to be a powerhouse as long as Chris Beard is there. And like, I'll say it again, I think he is the best coach in the country. And I think he's going to continue to prove it. Unfortunately for Oklahoma fans, not happy seeing Texas that good, but you have to recognize when they hired him, this was going to happen. In his first year, he turned him around and got him tougher, as Papa Dude said. Now he's got players to go along with that toughness. Yeah, I'm going to take the Longhorns tonight to defeat Creighton. I think they might do it. Being at home, I think they're going to cover that 6.5. Let's put it that way.
It's one thing when you're at Texas Tech and recruiting. It's another thing when you're at Texas. It's a heck of a lot easier when you're trying to hook them with those horns than when you're sitting in Texas Tech. All right, let's head over to the NBA. Pretty slow night. So we're just going to talk about the one game. The Mavericks at 10-10, 1-7 on the road, heading into the 5-18 Pistons, who are 3-7 at home. Not exactly a wonderful matchup here, but what are you going to do about that? Mavericks laying 8 at home. Doncic's been absolutely on fire. Total sitting at 220.5. Papa Dude, did you consider the NBA game at all tonight?
No, because there's just nothing to bet, really. I mean, the Pistons are not very good. Dallas is really struggling. You might look at the line because, even when they win, they're not impressive. That'd be the only thing. I just don't think Detroit's good enough to go in there and win against a team they're kind of desperate. They need to win this game tonight and get rolling. So I don't really like anything about it.
I looked at the over for a little bit there, Aaron, sitting at 220.5. The defense from the Pistons is atrocious. Gave up $140 to the Knicks last time out. Did you look at this one at all, or just pass in the NBA?
Well, here's the deal: the Mavericks are 1-7 on the road.
I thought this game's at home.
No,
it's
the Mavericks are 1-7 on the road, which is why I would pull up a stat like that, Papa Dude. So with Dallas, can they cover 8? I don't know. That's interesting to me. I wouldn't bet either way. As you could probably tell, I don't really follow the NBA a lot, but I did think that stat was interesting for a team giving 8 points, 1-7 and on the road. So we'll see. The Pistons are pretty bad. And Papa Dude said it, the Mavericks need a victory. They are not playing well, so maybe they get it here.
They just got a W over, I think it was Golden State at home. A weird game. More traveling's called in that game than I've ever seen. Luka with he's tied the record for 40-point triple-doubles by a Maverick. He is 23 years old. Dirk Nowitzki set the record. I think it was like 38 when he did it. So probably going to go ahead and break that one at some point here. All right, let's jump over to the race of the day. Heading out to Gulfstream Park, we wanted to go to that lush turf course. And South Florida got the better of us. Rained all 3 races off the turf today, so it's just the PETA and the main track. We're still going to talk a little bit about Gulfstream's 8th race here, $62,000 optional claimer. Philly's going 5 furlongs on the synthetic. This is a fun race prior to the switchover. I still think it's a pretty fun race. Your favorite, the 6-horse Empress Tigress here. Winner up in stakes turf sprint at Saratoga. Looked good last time at Keeneland, just getting caught late. You've got the 4-horse Love and Money in here for our girl Sherry DeVoe. This horse is better turf sprinting, win 2 back at Keeneland. You've got the 1-horse in here, Miss Margarette for Mark Cassie, who has faced Caravel and Miss J. McKay recently. So pretty deep field here, Papa Dude. Where'd you go on top in Gulfstream's 8th race?
Well, I thought this field was almost impossible if you're not going to go with the winner or the favorite. I mean, golly, you can make a case for a lot of them in this. Looks like lots of speed. And I think Empress Tiger is the most impressive. So I ended up going there. I've been listening to you guys with your gal there on the 4, but the horse has been off since 2021, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
got me away from that one a little bit. I think that horse might need a race. I'm going to go with Empress Tigers because I think that horse is in great form, and I think that's the obvious bet. I'm interested to see where you're going to go to try to beat this horse because there's a lot of ways you can go.
Empress Tigers did start her career on the synthetic, got a win up at Woodbine. So it's nice to see that form, at least if you are interested in Empress Tigers here. A 3-year-old facing 4-year-old, so facing older, which can be a knock every now and then. Aaron, are you going to get creative here? Or are you sticking with the chalk?
I think coming off the turf, it really points to the number 6 Empress Tigress. On the turf, had kind of lost a couple of races that maybe you thought she would have won the last 2 starts. She was the favorite in both of those races and didn't run bad, but got beat. And so you thought, okay, maybe there's an opening. I don't know. Now the synthetic horse has got way the best synthetic race, right? If she can just run back to that race at Woodbine where she broke her maiden by 6, she's probably gonna air this field. I was interested in the 5 quite a bit until it came off and went on to the synthetic. So I'm not going to get too creative. I think the 6 Empress Tigress is the one to beat. I
am going to go with good pick. I think Empress Tigress is good here, especially on the synthetic. I think the switch surface does make a pretty big difference. Papa Dude, you mentioned Sherry DeVoe. She's actually very good off this long of a layoff. Give me the cold 6-4 exact. I do like the 4 quite a bit in this spot. I think they run 6-4 cold. The 5 was one of the horses I had in before the change here, and I was 6-4, 5-2 before the switch over here to the synthetic.
Yeah, I just don't know about how that's gonna affect this horse. Ran in some pretty good races on the turf, ran pretty well, got some speed figures that were pretty competitive with our favorite over the turf. Synthetic, it's a big time question mark. Does have 1 start over the synthetic. That was all the way back in the debut a long time ago in a different country. So we'll see how that translates here. It's hard to say.
We'll have to wait one more day for the debut of that beautiful Gulfstream turf course. Maybe more. Who knows? Because it is South Florida. All right, let's jump into our best bets. I'll kick it off here. I'm headed back to the pitch, back to the World Cup here. We've got Germany facing Costa Rica. Costa Rica, I think, is the 31st of the 32 teams. So the second to worst team in this entire tournament. Germany has to win today to advance. Germany likes to beat the crap out of these type of teams. Spain beat them 7-1. I think Germany is going to score in bunches, especially early. I like the over 1.5 in the first half. I like Germany laying the 1 in the first half. I'll lay the 2.5 for the game. Germany needs to make a statement today. They need to win to move on. They are facing an awful team. I think Germany absolutely pounds them. The other game is Spain and Japan later. Spain should win. Spain needs to win to advance. Well, they need to at least draw to advance, so they're not going to be as aggressive. Japan's been pretty good so far in the tournament. I would lean toward just taking the under because I don't think Spain is going to be that aggressive in that spot. But best bet of the day, give me Germany minus 2.5. Papa Dude, what do you think?
I like your analysis of how they like to kill people. They like to just slaughter people. You're talking about a country that started 2 world wars. So they do have a mean streak in them. There's no doubt about it. They like to pick on people. The poor little people of Costa Rica, they don't have a chance today. And then the bullfighters are going to get all over Japan. Japanese, they can't fight bulls. So I'm going with Spain in that one too. So that's my analysis for sure. I love your pick.
Thank you. They do have the red circle on the Japan flag. So, you olay it a little bit there if they need to.
The Japanese are extremely mean. This would be very interesting if Germany went against Japan.
They did.
They play?
Japan beat them.
Oh, damn it. I missed that one. I can't believe it because that was really 2 people you can't trust. You can't trust either one of them. That would have been great.
You can see the Papa Dude World War II love coming out there. All right, Aaron, let's go to your pick here. Tell us about the Avs and the Kings.
Well, I mean, it does make sense if you started 2 world wars that you might have a bit of a mean streak and might not take mercy in Costa Rica. So hopefully that happens today for you, Somich. Should be plenty of fun watching the World Cup. All right, I'm going back to the NHL. I don't really know why I ever go away from the NHL because I hit the bets when I do the NHL and I miss when I do the NFL or college football. So we'll go to the NHL. First game, we're going to do a 2-team money line parlay plus 105 here. First game, Avalanche over the Sabres. All right, Sabres last night played great. Got the W in Detroit. Had to go to overtime to get it done, but did it. Sabres, they're a tough team. They're a scrappy team. Now, the very next night, they get to host the Avalanche. That's not good news for them, especially a Colorado team coming off an embarrassing loss, 5-0 to Winnipeg. Winnipeg ran them right out of the barn. So I think the Avalanche bounce back. I think the Sabres have a little bit of a letdown tonight. I like Colorado. That's going to be the first leg of it. Second leg, we're going to go all the way to that 9:30 time slot again for me. And another game, I'll be up till midnight watching. I'm going to go the Kings over the Coyotes. This is just more of a logical play. There's not angles like I kind of laid out for you in that first one. This is just simply, I think the Kings are a better team, and they need a win. They've lost 2 in a row at home in overtime. They get an Arizona team that, have lost 4 out of the last 5. I don't think they're great, obviously. They've been on the road a lot. I feel like the Kings get the job done here. They need a win. I feel like they're going to pick it up. I thought parlaying these two together for plus money was good enough. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Avalanche Kings money line parlay here. Like I said, be up till midnight trying to get this one home once again.
Why not, right? Why not? All right, Papa Dude, let's go to the college hardwood here. Give us your 3-team money line parlay.
Well, I can't get a 2-team parlay home, so let's go with 3. I mean, that's really logic, don't you think? First of all, I got my obscure bet again last night. The Drexel Dragons beat the Leopards last night, and I've got another obscure one today. Here's my obscure one. University of Purdue at Fort Wayne, Indiana. They are the Mastodons. What is that? Is that a dinosaur?
I don't know.
I believe that is a prehistoric elephant.
No, that was a mammoth, wasn't it?
We'll look it up.
This, Mike. I thought you would know this. That's why I didn't look it up.
No, it's an elephant. It's definitely an elephant.
Elephant.
It's got the elephant logo.
Yeah.
Well, they're definitely going to win. And they're going up against the Titans of Detroit Mercy. And I believe this used to be the University of Detroit, where Dick Vitale coached at one time. And by the way, it was good to see Dickie V back last night doing the Duke game. He's had all kinds of health problems, and it was good to see him back. So Purdue's Fort Wayne's going to win this one tonight. That's your obscure bet. All right. UConn plays Oklahoma State at home. I don't worry about this one at all. Oklahoma State's not very good. They're not going to beat UConn on the road. That one's not worrying me. You're not going in Allen Fieldhouse and beating Kansas. And Seton Hall's not as good as they have been. Don't worry about that one. The one I'm worried about, I had to throw this one in here to get a little value. UCLA is at Stanford, and that's sometimes a tough place to go play. They beat them there last year. They beat them twice. I think they're 5-point favored tonight. I had to get that in there to get on the plus side of things. So that's what I'm worried about, and I'm like Aaron. That'll be late, so I have to stay up a little bit. So Kansas should win. UConn should win. Hopefully I'm 2-0 whenever that UCLA game goes in there. The good side of it is if I've lost one of them, I don't have to watch this one. So that's the way I look at it. So that's the thing. I got plus money on it against 3 teams, perennial powers, should win.
Guys are trying to kill my sleep again. You always pick one of these damn late games in the NHL and NBA or college basketball. It's just brutal. I mean, can't we just stick to the East Coast just for a little while? All right, let's wrap up the show here. We've got the Thursday night football game, and it's actually a pretty good Thursday night football game tonight. The Buffalo Bills laying 3.5, heading into New England. It's one of those that you got to kind of remind yourself it's not your typical Thursday night game. We've got a full 7 days rest for both of these teams since they played on Thanksgiving. However, an awful spot for Buffalo, essentially a 3rd straight road game, playing back-to-back games in Detroit, now heading to New England to play this one. Aaron, this game opened at 5, and all the money is poured in on Buffalo. Are we at a buyback? Or I'm sorry, all the money is poured in on New England and gone down to 3.5. Are we at a buyback point on Buffalo here at minus 3.5?
Gosh, I went back and forth on this one for a while as far as the point spread. I think the Bills win a very close game. And so I guess I would still take the Patriots plus the 3.5. I like them a hell of a lot better plus the 5. And that, like I said, that had been plus 5 all the way up until yesterday. I think yesterday afternoon, maybe Somich, you may know the line movement specifically more than me, but it seems like yesterday afternoon it started to kind of go down a bit towards, the Bills. So Patriots minus plus 3.5. I'll still take it. I'd rather have the 5.
Yeah, the line started to move. I believe it was on Tuesday, got to 4.5, and the big move was yesterday, down to 4, down to 3.5. No movement yet today. I would be shocked if this goes to 3, because if it ever goes to 3, there's going to be so much Buffalo money that comes in, and the sportsbooks don't want any part of that. Papa Dude, who do you like here? Buffalo and New England. Total sitting at 43.5 right now.
I know this is a tough one. I think we all are struggling with it, because we just have problems admitting that New England's not very good. We just do, and they win games they shouldn't. And this is a must game for them. And it's a huge game for Buffalo too. I don't think the Bills are going to catch the Chiefs for the number 1 seed, but they could get to number 2. It is very tough. I would go with Buffalo with the spread just because I think they're better than New England. I don't know that New England can manufacture enough points, but I'm kind of with Jason there. Just pass on it and see what happens.
I'm gonna end up betting Buffalo here. I had this game originally lined at around 5.2 for Buffalo, which is right around where it opens. You could make a case that the back road games could make it like 4.5 is where you don't really want to play it. But once it got to 4, I was pretty sure I was going to bet it. 3.5 is, I don't think I could pass it up. This is one of those spots where New England seems to be struggling against rushing quarterbacks or quarterbacks who have any type of speed. You saw that with Justin Fields. He absolutely roasted him on Monday night. The leading rusher last year for Buffalo in both the New England Buffalo games was Josh Allen. So I like Josh Allen's over 45.5 rushing yards as well. He's probably going to be their leading rusher again tonight. I don't think this New England team is very good. I don't think this defense is as good as advertised. They got roasted by Minnesota last week. Minnesota was missing their top offensive lineman. They still couldn't generate a pass rush. You mentioned it, Bobby. Buffalo needs this game. Because when you start looking at tiebreakers, they need to beat Miami and they need to win tiebreakers to be able to win the division right now. And that's a tall order. And in division tiebreakers and conference tiebreakers are very important for that. So this is one of those must-win spots for Buffalo at 5. I was probably going to pass it at 3.5. I think I'm going to lay it with Buffalo and see what happens here.
What do you think about this, though? Since Josh Allen's been injured, it hasn't been great. That's my worry, right?
That's the concern, is that and they haven't come out and said, oh, it's this specific injury or this issue, but you can see his play has deteriorated. However, his biggest issue has been decision-making. I mean, if you look at some of the interceptions he's thrown in the red zone, they're just terrible decisions where he should have thrown the ball away or shouldn't have tried to fit it into a certain spot. It's not an issue with like, oh, he can't throw the ball deep or there's not enough zip on his ball or anything like that. It's more of like, hey, don't make that bonehead throw. And so I'm going to kind of hope that we fix that at some point. Again, this is one of those games where I think you should be razor sharp for. I would expect that this is a game that Buffalo's up for, that they're going to go out and show out for. They won by 12 last year in New England. Everyone remembers the game in Buffalo where New England threw the ball 3 times with Mac Jones the entire game. They gave it to New England in New England last year. And so I think if the weather's nice tonight, which it's supposed to be, no snow, no wind, I think it favors Buffalo quite a bit. So I just don't think they're going to keep up with them.
It's fair points.
All right, let's head over to our best bets here before we sign off for the day. Papa Dude taking Kansas, UConn, and UCLA in a moneyline parlay on the college hardwood. Aaron heading to the ice again, trying to make it 2 in a row, going with the Avs and the Kings plus 105. I'm going to go back to the World Cup game. Kicks off at 2 o'clock. Give me Germany minus the 2.5 and a must win against Costa Rica, laying the 120. 2-1 yesterday, up $137 for the week, up $165 for the year. We will be back tomorrow at noon Eastern with more best bets around the horse racing and sports world. Make sure you join us then. We'll see y'all tomorrow.